Welcome everyone to the rinks in Hauppauge. Longwood freshman white taking on the Connetquot Sayville T-Birds in a freshman matchup here on the LI Sports Network. 15 minutes on the clock in the first period as we get into our first of 3 games here on the North Rinks. The Lions 8-5-0 coming into this game. The T-Birds 6-7-0 trying to get to 500 as we are officially into the first period. My name's Kevin Broderick, joined by Paul Panasonic Trentini. We'll be here all night, all the way up to the third game, the third and final game of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League varsity playoffs between Smithtown Hauppauge and St. Anthony's. It's been a long road for all of those players to get to where they are. Finals rematch of not only last year, but the year before that. And this one game decides who gets the 2 titles out of the 3 trips, which I have a feeling it's not going to be in the forefront of these players' minds because they have to be focused, but it's definitely in the back somewhere as they, well, to put it lightly, don't like each other. But focusing on the game in front of us right now with players that have a long road ahead of them here in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. The T-Birds did make the playoffs in the varsity division, and I'm sure these players on the ice right now would one day hope to do that and maybe a little bit more of getting past that first round. Starting in the net is Daniel Friars for the T-Birds. On the other side, it's Riley Perales, as obviously the Longwood Lions starting off, skating right to left, and they'll score just like that. Long range shot, 1-0 Longwood inside of the first 2 minutes. Who else but Cesar Aravena to get the scoring going? Obviously, he was missed a couple of days ago in Longwood's other matchup. Where not a lot of goal scoring was happening. Cesar Aravena now with his 18th of the season leads the way for his team. As Longwood are forced back to their own zone, but smack it down the rink. Sailing for an icing note waved off by the officials. Longwood, one of the top freshman teams here in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League as we take a look over towards the standings. Currently in 5th place out of 15 teams. ESM, St. Anthony's, East Islip, and Smithtown Hauppauge, their red team, are all above them. Just ahead of Southampton, who have 1 more loss and 1 less point, as Perales will make a nice save before it's whipped up and out. Lamakia on the far, Bollards trying to bowl through that hit, does force the puck past the blue line. T-Birds will look to reset below their own goal line and whip it out off the near side. Aravena's goal unassisted to start off the game. Longwood with a few less players today than the T-Birds, but trying to make up for it with a little bit of grit. Puck brought in through the blue line again. The T-Birds will repel. Back out for O'Sullivan. Gains the blue line, but offsides, as I believe Fredrickson was just a hair over the line. 11:53 to play in the first period. Face off, one back by Dillon. Brought in by Aravena. Tucks it down to the goal line and sent it in front. Danzy was there to clean out the garbage for the T-Birds. It's back into the neutral zone. McManus trying to make something happen. Poked off his stick. Opportunity to get it up and out for Longwood, and it will just barely go past the blue line. Still in transition. Spinella was the front of the attack, but couldn't hold on to it. Nolfo overskated the puck, back with the lines again. Cesar Aravena, one-man rush, and his shot will ramp off his stick and spill into the end boards. 4 minutes gone by here in the first period, and most of the opportunities belonging to Longwood, and Aravena with the opening goal unassisted to get his team up. Last time we saw these two sides play was all the way back on September 22nd. It was a 7-0 win for Longwood, as well, they were off to a very hot start in the season, trying to get into another big win streak as a nice glove save is snatched out of the air by Friars. Taking a look at these two teams' last 5 games, Longwood are 4-1. Their only loss coming to Smithtown Hauppauge Red. That was 7-0 on January 30th, so still a fairly recent memory. It's February 11th, how the time can fly. Felt like we just started February, almost halfway through the month. But wins, as we have to hold that thought. Opportunity in front and a penalty upcoming. Perales was helped out by his defense, but at the cost of a 2-minute minor. So the power play, the T-Birds will go, trying to tie this game up at 1 apiece. Those wins for Longwood, like I was talking about, against Ward, Melville, Smithtown, Hauppauge Blue, Sachem, and KPC. T-Birds in their last 5, they're 3-2. Losses to St. Anthony's and Middle Country. Again, like I said, trying to make their season even at 7-7. Good opportunity here on the power play. Keep your eye on number 18, Jack Mooney, the leading goal scorer for this team and leading point producer, but instead it's going to be Spinella. He'll race it out of the neutral zone and into the offensive end, knifed off his stick by Mooney. It's free for Aravena, takes a shot off the outside of the net. Chance to bring it up now. Nofel, make that Petrie doing it all by himself. Ashton Petrie sent another centering feed, created an opportunity. Petrie across, fielding, twists the hips, and a shot. Perales got it partially with the glove. Karam's off the end boards, right back for Connetquot Sayville. Fielding, opportunity from the slot, and it's snatched out of the air. Perales, a great leather save. 9:46 to play in the period. 1:15 in the 5-on-4 advantage. Face-off will go out of the zone. Mooney racing back for it. Aravena hot on his heels. Tap pass over to Petrie, who gets hemmed into the boards. Aravena was looking to get himself into a 1-on-0. T-Bird's not going to let a shorthanded opportunity develop like that. Petrie, saucer pass. Knocked down by Spinella. Aravena tried to send it forward, got caught up in the skate blades. Now Fielding will enter in. Fielding, a wrist shot. Knocked down by Cipriani. A big bounce, though. Cipriani had to get right back onto it. He'll twist it up the boards and out of the zone, all the way down 200 feet. Breakout for the captain. Watch out. Opportunity. Spinella in on net. He scores. A short-handed goal. Longwood up 2-0. Lions feeling good about this game so far. Spinella with a shorthanded goal. Aravena started off the game 5-on-5. Now it's a 2-0 lead. Just over half this period remaining. Cipriani, another opportunity to flip it out of the end. And not held alive by Petrie. Back from Mooney. Has a man at the far side, and it will go past his stick. Back for Aravena to kill off the rest of this penalty. We're back to 5-on-5 here on the North Rinks. The T-Birds not capitalizing on the opportunity. Aravena now down in the corner, looking out towards the middle, sent it there, flagged out of the air by Mooney. Punched over towards the perimeter. Petrie will start to skate. Could get this into a 2-on-1. Slides it off to his left side, but behind Dietz. Goes back for it. And the captain for Longwood easily dancing through that crowd. To 8 minutes to play. Mooney collects. Knocks it ahead. Arnold. Send it into the neutral zone. Back for O'Sullivan. Puts it right back into the offensive end. Chmansky will go off for a change. Another shot through traffic for Cipriani. Deflects onto the tape of Mooney. Shifts around one check to the near point. Held up there by Cipriani. Pops around a couple of times. Does end up in the neutral zone. Special thank you to Clean Hit Athletics for sponsoring our players of the game. Want to find out who's the player of the game tonight in the varsity division in Game 3 of the finals? We'll just stay tuned. We'll announce it on air, and then a post-game interview as well. We'll follow that up on social media. Edited and posted by the Gabe Takuri, the best in the business. Fielding, taking a hit down low to rim it around the boards. O'Sullivan will activate on the play, pushing it back below the goal line. Twisted to the near side now. Hintman will force Longwood to go off sides. Petrie will collect with plenty of time and space. Builds some speed, twists it around one. Here comes Petrie up the left side. He'll gain the red line and dump in. Puck down low for Cipriani. Two T-Birds close on his tail. Spins it around the glass. O'Sullivan knocked it forward for his captain. 3-on-3 rush out past the blue line. Will be dumped in for Longwood. Down low, they'll take it back. Mamakia will take the shot on net. Easy save for Friars. Pausing the clock with 6:14 remaining in the first period. Taking a look at the stats in this game, Longwood scoring 4.8 goals per game, the T-Birds scoring 3.8. And the goals against per game also in favor of the Lions at 3.6. The T-Birds at 5.2 as another scramble ensues on the far post. Covered up by Friars, and will take another draw, this time off to his left side. Fredrickson will take the draw over on the right dot. O'Sullivan behind him for any potential one-timer. Fredrickson to O'Sullivan. Loads up the wrister. Save made by Friars. And he'll cover up again. Fredrickson on that draw, couldn't win it out this time. Longwood go to work trying to hold the zone now, but it just barely banks past the blue. Lamakia curls towards the neutral zone, met by a crowd, forced into a turnover. Weaving into the offensive end, and a wrist shot testing on Perales, his defenseman falling down trying to clear the puck, still down below the goal line. Fredrickson over the tape of O'Sullivan. Sends it long. O'Sullivan with it again. Too much momentum off his stick. Gave Fielding a chance to dump in his team offside, so they'll reset and get called for the offsides, actually. So we'll go down into the offensive end for Longwood. They'll make a line change as well. Bring out some fresh legs. T-Birds will make a partial change. Petrie back onto the ice. Face off for Fredrickson, taken off his stick by Petrie. He'll pull up below the goal line and flip it past 1-4 checker. Hits the outlet pass on the far end. Jackson Volpe right back over to Petrie. Begins to work it up, whips it across the ice. Held in on the blue line with a couple of fancy moves. Back for Petrie. Again, his wrist shot rung off the bar. Volpe trying to get him some more on this play. 2 sticks in front of him. He'll bank it down low, goes back to Aravena, flips it out of the zone. Dinkle knocked down on the ice. Petrie there to help her out. Swirls it around to the near point. Cipriani will extend the play. Given right back over to the T-Birds, though. A second opportunity to clear. Now Petrie has to look for some room. Looks to the weak side with Dinkle, and she'll send it out. Pass on to the backhand of Jones. A little too hot for him to handle. Long wrister and a good save for Friars as Fredrickson was testing him up high. Keeps the puck alive, no whistle. Allowing Fielding to continue the play. Taken away now, another shot. Good save down low from Friars. Volpe. And it's Petrie against Fredrickson. Fredrickson will blow by him. Looking for some passing options. Fredrickson, saucer on the backhand, intercepted and now broken out of the zone. Here comes Fielding on a long wrister, testing down low. Perales gave up a rebound, but Volpe was a step too late to it. Cipriani got there first and swings it over for Aravena. Here comes Caesar. Has to wiggle past a couple of checks, and it's stripped off his stick. Back for Fielding. Knocks it ahead. Volpe to Fielding up the wall. Dances past one, trying to pull it around Fredrickson as well. Hemmed into the boards and taken back by Longwood with 3 minutes to play here in the first period. Mooney, tape to tape. Fielding the next available option. Will go across the ice once more and walk past the blue line, but offsides. As looks like Logan Dietz wasn't on the same page as Jack Mooney. Lead to another neutral zone face-off here on the North Rinks. Ice starting to open up a little bit. Good pull around for O'Sullivan, but ultimately can't generate anything from it. Lamakia bank pass. O'Sullivan went past his stick. Forced to the blue line, but not out. Now into the neutral zone. O'Sullivan tied up once more. Spinella tried to bowl through a couple of players. No one claiming clean possession just yet before the pass ahead to McManus. Dumps it into the offensive end. Taken back by Lamakia as the T-Birds go for a change behind the play. Good forecheck coming through as well by the players who stayed out on the ice. Regardless, it's Peter O'Sullivan to make the play. O'Sullivan separating from the puck. Mooney trying to angle him away. Will lean him on him, but still a centering feed was available for Crispin. Just slid under his tape. Lechmansky. One move, back towards the middle. John Lechmansky shot down low, and it was covered up before it was poked in. No goal for O'Sullivan, but you got to respect the effort. Friars did make the save. It stays a 2-0 game in favor of Longwood. Petrie dicing it up. Gains the blue line, down to the goal. Petrie, he'll go on a long lap, sending the pass quickly over to the slot, looking for a tip in front, knocked down by Cipriani. Controlled by Fredrickson, he'll wheel it forward. Fredrickson on sides with his teammates. Angles off to the left wing corner, slid the pass, but cut off well by the T-Birds. Petrie finding a little bit of open ice in the neutral zone. He dumps it in when he gains the red. Under 50 seconds to play here in the first period. Aravena cut off from his breakout. Centering feed again, and another good tie-up from Cipriani allows his team to get out of the danger. Another long shot. Friars glove save, and he'll hold on to it to kill the clock. 32 seconds remaining in this first period. Long wrister from the far point. Ends up with Petrie in the corner. Pressured by two different Lions. A saucer pass in front hits off the back of the net. Deflects and is forced all the way out of the zone. Cesar Aravena with the speed to get around Volpe. Has Cipriani back with him as well with under 10 seconds to play. Aravena's going to fly. Already past the blue line. Aravena with the step around Petrie. In on net. Aravena looking for the finishing touch. Comes loose and no second shot available. Will end the first 15 in a 2-0 score in favor of Longwood here on the LI Sports Network. Back here on the LI Sports Network, one opportunity for Longwood to put it on to Friars. Didn't create much as Friars was quick on the rebound control. Line change being made by Connetquot Sayville now. Face off, Dietz will push it forward. Spiked out of the zone. Makia will try to get back before Dietz could get on to his forecheck. Now brought ahead by Dillon. Forced off to the perimeter. Dillon will hold it in the zone. Lines up a slap shot and not going to get that past Mooney. He'll start to skate. O'Sullivan in front of him. Mooney tips around the check, trying to challenge down low. Bumps shoulders and is completely forced away. Good play by O'Sullivan. Longwood still looking for their exit strategy. Swirled off the wall and ahead. T-Birds will go D to D to try to get it back in. On the right wing side this time, Lamacchia, long reach on the poke check, not going to pry it free. 12:40 left in the second period. Cycle down low and put in front. Dietz looking for an opportunity. He got shoved down, and we have a penalty upcoming. Now the captain will go into the box for the second time today. His team did great on the first PK, even scoring a shorthanded goal thanks to Spinella. That was the last goal of the game as well. Let's see how the Lions do on their second PK opportunity. Faced off below the cage. Goes up to the blue line. Mooney holds the zone. Mooney, a long shot. Good save by Paralis. Rebound comes loose, and this time just barely goes past the blue. Not by Mooney, though. They'll quickly play it over to Volpe. Excuse me, that was Petrie on the far side. Back to Volpe on the near. Banks free, and Aravena gets a touch at it. Rifles it down the ice, and it will go all the way. Spinning around the boards. Crispin in on the forecheck. Mooney will get there and send it down low for Petrie. $1:20 remaining in the 5-on-4. Spinella, good opportunity created himself. Not immensely dangerous, and referees finally blowing the whistle. Mooney at the goal line, Spinella in front of him, slides the pass ahead. Jones got locked up and couldn't get it out of the zone, allows Crispin to knock it down the wall. Here's Volpe. Finally, with some room, he'll curl back to gain even more speed. Across for Fielding. At the red line, can't dump in just yet. Twists around one check. Fielding gains the blue line. Down the slot for a shot. Good save, Paralis. Back for Fielding, and he'll put it below the net. Volpe racing for the rebound. Touches it up. Volpe tiptoeing. Slides it down low. Jones, a tap pass towards the middle. Paralis is on it quickly. .28 seconds remain in the 5-on-4. Mooney looking for the east to west. Cipriani will lean on the puck. Down low, another centering feed just goes through the legs of Preskia. Allows Crispin to dance it up on the near side. Taken off of his stick and dumped down, and Volpe, or make that Dietz, not going to get there in time. Fredrickson will come in for the draw, trying to kill off the remaining 3 seconds and get Lamacchia back on the ice. And it looks like Fredrickson will get called for a penalty now. And the face-off will go back down the ice for a 2-second 5-on-3, and then back to another power play. Ryan Fredrickson will take a delay of game. A 5-on-3 over just like that. Mooney, long wrister with a tip from Jones. Karam's off to the corner, held alive, goes back to Jones. At the goal line, pass off to the slot, in front, no follow-up. Volpe had it on the doorstep. He'll dance, look for another shot deflected off the stick of O'Sullivan. Down low, he'll collect. Couldn't get it past Mooney, though. A long ranger with another tip, and they score. T-Birds find the score sheet, make it a 2-1 game. Lechmansky quickly through. Toe drag, Lechmansky to the backhand for a quick shot, and the rebound got through. No one on the front door in order to poke it home, but Aravena on the follow-up. What a wrister into the top right corner. Second of the game. Longwood back up by 2. Lechmansky looking for more pressure. Friars will cover that one up. So the momentum created by the power play goal not going to last long. It was fielding from Petrie and Jones, and then Aravena with another unassisted tally to get his team the 2-goal lead. So it's 1 for Spinella on the shorthand and 2 for Aravena. Aravena with it again, walking it down. Aravena, post hand in. That's a hat trick. Two goals, 20 seconds apart for Caesar. Completes his hat trick on the game. This one finally assisted by Dylan. Lechmansky, Spinella, long shot, glove save. Out of the air for Friars, forces another face-off. Team getting star for offense right now. Whipped out of the zone, one more onto the tape of Jones, trying to send it back to his defensive core. Mooney past the red line, walks it into the offensive end. Mooney taking a hit from O'Sullivan, angling towards the net, his shot, rebound in front, Jones couldn't poke it through. Fielding on the follow-up, spiked below the goal line. Knocked off to the perimeter. Up to the point, another long shot with traffic, comes free, Volpe a shot, he scores! Back and forth we go. This time it's Volpe to get his team back into the game. T-Birds looking for more, fielding, forced off to the perimeter. Sent it over to Jones, knocked away by Lamacchia. Free now for O'Sullivan, takes a second to scan for his options, turns it over to Mooney. Volpe pitching it back to his defensive unit. Arends Starts the breakout. Now Volpe past the blue line. Takes a step towards the middle. A second step. Volpe, a shot. Good save from Perales. Rebound goes over to Leitchmansky. Quickly hits it to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan racing forward in a 2-on-2 past the blue line. Forced off his tape. Lamacchia sweeps into it and loses it out as Fielding was there on the back check. Long home run pass. Here comes Volpe down Main Street. Volpe in on net. He hit it off the post. A goalie's best friend helps out Perales there. Return down to the goal line. Jones looking for Fielding. Works free. Fielding on a twist around shot blocked by O'Sullivan. The follow-up is snuffed out by Perales. The T-Birds were so close to making it a one-goal game. Connetquot Sayville in attack mode right now. Dietz out for the offensive zone draw. Couple of hard hits into the board. Long shot, and Perales looked nervous for a second, but is on top of it. Aravena forced away, back for Cipriani in the neutral zone. He'll dump it in with just about half of this game going by. Spinella getting a hand on that, excuse me. That was Vernillo partially breaking up the long pass. Puck still on the near boards, forced in by Boos. Mooney zips it ahead. Play stopped up by Cipriani. He'll force it past the offensive blue line. Cipriani, a step to the shot, but Volpe recovered. Pried it off of his tape. Stick lift now from Cipriani, and Volpe gets around that. Excuse me, that's Petrie with it. Petrie, he's gliding. Fredrickson chasing after him. Now Cipriani stepping up from the hit, and the puck is sent away. Fredrickson on the perimeter. He'll get forward with a head of steam across the blue line. Aravena knocking it off the glove, keeping in the offensive end. Aravena will drive to the net. On the backhand, it's in front. Petrie was there on the cover-up. Right back to Aravena. Slides it over for Cipriani. On the backhand, look for a centering feed, and that's not going to go anywhere. The T-Birds send it out of the zone. Referee saying it's an icing right now and will be enforced. Dillon for the offensive zone draw. Mooney trying to carry it ahead, cut off by Nolfo. Up the boards, O'Sullivan along wrister. Off to the left side, Lamacchia activating on the play, will hold it. Comes right back towards him and now out. O'Sullivan at center ice will accidentally send that out of play. Neutral zone face-off upcoming. Mooney gliding with a toe drag. On the backhand, rolls it over for his defensive partner. Shot down the length of the ice. O'Sullivan there for it. Twisted around the boards. Mooney holds the zone. 5:44 to play here in the second period. It's a 4-2 Longwood lead. T-Birds with the most recent tally, though. Their forecheck doing good work, but the outlet in Spinella was found. He'll have plenty of room to skate up the ice. Spinella still dicing it up, cuts off to the middle. Spinella back on his forehand, couldn't get it 5-hole. Closed off by Friars. To the blue line, not out. O'Sullivan looking to go back to Spinella. Gets it at the goal line, carries it along. Breaks through one check, but not a second. Dillon looking to hold the zone. Gets it over for Lamacchia. Walks it down the wall. Lamacchia turning around for a centering feed. Poked off his backhand by Mooney. Those two will lock up. Third man in for the T-Birds. Will help out, and Renz flying out of the zone. Renz. Angled away. Dillon winds up with it. O'Sullivan. Flipped it towards the blue line, held alive, up for grabs, and a big hit behind the play. Deemed legal by the referees. Allows Nofo to keep going forward, and a Mooney with another great poke check. Slows it down just a little bit. Friars making that save. It went off the crossbar as well. Nice face-off win, but goes on and off the tape of McManus. Held up on the near boards, a hit from behind. Sent out of the zone now, and Petrie will go on a skate for it. Under 4 to play here in the second period. Petrie gliding down the slot. Petrie a shot. Angled away by the stick of Cipriani, and it will bounce off the end boards. Perales looking for the pause. Puck zipped around the boards. Petrie at the near point, tiptoes on the blue line, pressured. Still in right now, good pass from Dietz down low. McManus' shot, good save, Perales. Rebound goes over the corner. Lechmansky the first one onto it. Onto the tape of Crispin, not out of the zone again as it's held alive by Mooney. Just over 3 minutes to play. Dietz sliding it behind him. Petrie shimmies past one check. Couldn't fly off the wall. Back over for Spinella. He has open ice. Man back is Donnelly trying to angle away Spinella. Pulls it to the middle. Sweeps back to the other side and hits it off the post. What a move. All the way down. Jones trying to beat Perales to it. High arcing pass goes all the way back for Petrie in his defensive end. Crispin on the forecheck, joined by Lechmansky. Spinella going off for a change, and Fredrickson will take his place. Bouncer over to Jones, has it in front of him. Aravana took it away. Looking for options. Curls to the far point, held up there. Fredrickson retreated back to the red line. Fredrickson dips and sends it in when he got there, but Petrie flagged it down. Playing games with Fredrickson below the goal. Second forechecker there is Lechmansky again. Over to Volpe, was trying to go across to Dietz. Now it's Fredrickson with it. Fredrickson, sharp angle, put it in front. Great tie up there by Volpe, saving a goal as Aravana was looking for the empty netter. Lechmansky trying to hold it in, but it will be pitched ahead to Dietz. Aravana with an active stick once again has it. Pulls it past one. We're going to go down the slot. Aravana still flying. Dicing it up to the goal line, poked off his stick. Turnaround shot, Lechmansky. Good save by Friars. Aravana tried for another centering feed into the high slot. Fredrickson finds it. Fredrickson lining up his mark and missed it just a little high. Opportunity to reset for Donnelly. Now with Petrie, under a minute and 30 to play. Cipriani juggling with it, slaps it down deep. Petrie Backpedaling, avoids the hit from Crispin. Now with some room, Petrie looking for Jones. It was deflected away by Dietz. Fortunate for Aravena, but now challenged at the blue line. Still onside somehow. Cipriani will activate on the play. Once again, dumping it in low. Off the wall, Crispin will spin it around the boards. Boos in a good rotation. Knifed off his stick, and it's finally Petrie to just skate it out himself. With room at the blue line. Slid it over to his left side. Glove down by Jones, and orked out. Donnelly with it again. Boos on the forecheck. 40 seconds to play in the period. Again, the most recent goal scored by the T-Birds, but the recent momentum belonging to Longwood. And if it weren't for Volpe on the tie-up against Aravena, this easily could have been a 5-2 game. Fielding almost had his way past the blue line. Volpe on the second wave. Hits it off the shin pad of Cipriani down low. Longwood trying to dig it out. 13 seconds to play in the period, and they will send it down. No icing as it was tipped. Donnelly for the captain. It's Mooney looking for Jones. Intercepted Fredrickson. Sends it back towards the slot, but as time expired. So we'll end the first 30 minutes of this game with 15 remaining. And Connetquot Sayville down by 2 here on the LI Sports Network. Back to center ice for the start of the third period. T-Birds trying to make this a closer game. They scored the most recent goal, but have been held at bay so far. Fielding on the goal line, tapped in front. Volpe a shot. Rebound Jones couldn't get there in time. Sent around the goal to the far side. Mooney activating, plays it towards net, but it's flagged down by Lamacchia. Stretch pass ahead, taken away. Back for the captain of the T-Birds. Zips it ahead. Fielding, loading past the line. One good toe drag. Almost had Volpe all alone in front of the net. He had to curl back to the line. Sends it through a crowd, but intercepted by Lamacchia. A second good defensive play for him on this shift. The T-Birds off to good pressure so far. Long shot, save made. Karam's up to the blue line. Follow up with a tip. Puck loose off to the right side. It just barely didn't slide through. Arends looking to do this himself. Taken out from down low. That's going to be a power play upcoming for the T-Birds. Tripping the call. Fredrickson will go into the box. And an opportunity to make this a one-goal game for Connetquot Sayville. When the opportunity comes, you got to capitalize on it. That's what it feels like right now for the T-Birds. Same group that started the third period still out there. So they're on for a long shift depending on how long they stay in the O-zone for. We'll start off with a draw from Jones. Jones getting it back, far point, long wrister, and easily saved by Perales. Fought through all of those screens. The T-Birds got the right idea right now. Bodies in front of the net create rebound opportunities. Varsity teams will tell you all about it. Petrie backpedaling, slides it down the wall. Volpe sends it in front for a shot. What a save by Perales. Another opportunity sent for Petrie. Still holds it in. Volpe fires and scores. T-Birds cash in on the power play for a second time. It's a one-goal game. What a wrist shot. Glove side, doesn't matter. Volpe had the speed. Plenty of time left in this period as well to find another. I said when the opportunity arises, well, they capitalized. Connetquot Sayville very much in this game, and you got to tip your cap to the T-Birds. Last time this matchup was played, Longwood won it 7-0. I couldn't imagine these two teams playing and it being a blowout. They've been evenly matched. Longwoods took the first punch of the game, scoring from Aravena, and then again from Spinella. Aravena scored the next two. He still has a hat trick in this game, as he'll look to get his team into another comfortable 2-goal lead. Aravena leading the play as Boos off to his left side, driving around one check to the middle. Boos couldn't knock it out of the air. It was a little too fast. Cipriani on the follow-up shot, missed off to the left side. Aravena tracking down the rebound. Once again, will come free to the corner. Fredrickson going after Volpe. Fiddles it around him. Now Volpe with some room to operate. Dips past one. Volpe into a rush. Has a 3-on-3 past the blue line. Dietz will stay on sides. Lifted off his stick by Cipriani. Volpe will get back to it and rim it down low. Aravena pitched it off the glass. Volpe slowed it up. It's held alive at the far point. Another shot opportunity. Perales with a required save. Dietz on the turnaround. Another rebound in front. Perales got over in time and spiked it over to the corner. Up for Volpe. Loads up the wrister. Perales parried that one into the end board. T-Bird still in the cycle. Fredrickson breaking it up, and he'll begin to fly to the red line. Onto the tape of Aravena. Wiggles past one check, skating backwards and trying to center it. Petrie, the last line of defense, broke the opportunity in half. 11:40 to play. In the high slot, returning it to the right post. Dietz bowling over Dillon. Back for Fredrickson. Aravena looking for his fourth. Off his stick and out of play, will hit the protective netting with 10:59 remaining. Dillon in the left dot draw. Lamacchia to hold it live. Up to the blue line, O'Sullivan. Over to Dillon and then forced into the neutral zone. Lamacchia flips it off the wall. Pushed right back towards him. Teller trying to get it deep, but it'll come to the neutral zone again, this time with Donnelly. He'll curl, find some room. Donnelly drags around one check. Taken away by Nofel. Hits it to Dillon. He steps past to hit. Puck still coming free. O'Sullivan looking to tee one up. Leads to a one-on-one opportunity. They score! Tie game in the third period. T-Birds clawed it all the way back, now with an opportunity to win it. Centering bid. Spike towards the blue line. Now carried ahead by Spinella. It's him and Aravena on the rush. Angled down to the goal line. Centering feed. Ends up behind the net. Spins around the boards. Aravena to it. Trying to glide up to the blue line, but was angled out of the zone. Aravena to Cipriani. Now Spinella. Challenged by Fielding. Turned over to Jones. Has it on his backhand, trying to beat Dillon. Taking by Dillon into the defensive end. He'll play to Aravena with 9:30 left on the third period clock. Nifty play from Cipriani, but couldn't go tape to tape. Over for Spinella. Back around the horn with Petrie. He'll glide into the neutral zone. Petrie into the offensive end on his forehand. Tips around Cipriani. Petrie the shot. That hit iron. Dietz on the backhand, almost made it interesting. Across the blue line to set up for the one-timer, Fandon. Aravena collects. He'll look to skate this one out himself. He has numbers, 4-on-2 rush. Aravena, everyone on sides, looking for the tape of Dillon and swipes off to the perimeter by Fielding. He gets it right back with Lechmansky in front of him. Has to go D to D around the end boards. Petrie now getting pressed by Dillon and Lechmansky. They're everywhere on the ice right now. Petrie tucks it back to the goal line again. This time he'll spin it around the boards. Donnelly finally beats past Dillon. Donnelly with it again. Wiggling around Spinella. Gets past him. Everyone on sides. Shot taken. Save made by Perales. Rebound pushed up the boards. Petrie, a wrister, left it behind him. Another centering feed cut off by Aravena. Aravena to Crispin. Crispin past the blue line as he'll dump it in. Sitting down low, and Petrie looks a little gassed as both teams will make some changes behind the play. 4-4 the score right now. The T-Birds scoring 3 in a row in order to get it here. Aravena taken away by Jones. Flips it off the wall. Cipriani couldn't hold it in at the near point. Go back down for Aravena. Stops up looking for his options. 7 minutes to play here in the third period. Gazing down the rink, and looks like this is tipped. Nope, referees say otherwise. He'll go back down to the offensive end for a T-Bird offensive zone draw. Tyler Francie back out there for the O-zone draw, the most recent goal scorer. He got the game tied up. Winning the face-off, pushing it behind him. Donnelly, the wrister, missed it wide over to the right. Broken away. Chance to rush for Longwood. Lamacchia going quickly into Donnelly. Rimmed around the board. Still alive for Longwood. Crispin with it here. Trying for his centering feed. He'll be lifted above the crossbar. Awkward bounce off the seam. Hit avoided by Vernillo, but it's out of the zone because of it. Lechmansky juggling it. building some speed. He'll beat around another check. 6:20 to play in the third period. Leishmansky looking to do this himself, dicing it up past the blue line on the backhand, flips it towards the middle, and a hand pass, I believe, called, or no, a high stick called by the referee. So we'll go back to the neutral zone with 6:13 to play. Oh no, this is going to be a penalty. Leishmansky will go into the box for 2 minutes. Petrie off the draw, sending it towards the middle. Rebound, they score! T-Birds cash in on the power play for a third time, and they find the lead. Volpe gets it done. Timeout called, so we'll step aside for a second here on the LI Sports Network.
I gave a scoreboard update and everything. Rest up for tonight, my man.
Back here on the LI Sports Network, Longwood trying to take some time to regather themselves. Aravena with a hat trick still gives them an opportunity, but Volpe is looking for the dagger. Leaves it behind him. Jones skating it down, a rebound in the middle. Fielding got there, sent it off for Volpe. Back for Fielding, and it's deflected behind the net. Volpe scoops it up, hitting it almost to the tape of Fielding for a third opportunity. Captain takes it, gives it over to Aravena, cuts it past the blue line. He'll glide off to his right side. Rebound in front, they score! Tie game again, it's 5-5. Longwood not saying die just yet, in the timeout paying dividends already. Puck will be iced instantly off the draw. T-Birds had the lead thanks to Volpe on the power play. Didn't last a whole lot of time. 10 goals so far. We still have 5:25 to play. Rents over for Caesar. Shot, rebound was there. Referees didn't see it. Captain stepping in for the offensive zone draw. Spinella was trying to kick it over to Caesar. Has to go back into the neutral zone on the reset. Longwood touch up. Caesar leading the play, and it's pried off his stick. T-Birds can skate the other way, and they'll have a clean breakout as well. Malaki on the back check. Giving a hard time for Arnold. Denied at the far point, has to get back on sides. Lechmansky almost on to the backhand of Spinella. Not going to be an icing here, so the T-Birds have to do it the hard way. Held alive by Aravena. Brings it down the wall, cuts middle. Aravena to the slot. His shot, kick save. Rebound still alive. The T-Birds try to swipe it out of the zone. Reloaded by Aravena once again. He'll try the far side. Dumps it in. Friars out of his net, holds it behind. Taken away by Lamacchia. Couldn't center it before the goalie got back to his cage. But Longwood do have possession with just over 4 minutes to play here in the third period. It was 4 unanswered for the T-Birds before the captain showed up and punched it in on the doorstep. Aravenas to Cipriani. Cipriani through. Stood up. It's down low for Fielding. Whipped it around the wall. Spinella was waiting for it. Spinella, toe drag, goes back the other way. Now with room. Finds it to the open Aravena. Aravena, a wrister. The rebound popped over to the left circle. Cipriani with it again. This time bottled up. Forced to whip it down low. Donnelly. Kicking it over to the corner. Awkward bounce. Spinella looking for Lechmansky at the middle. He has it fanned on the shot. Donnelly again trying to clear, and this time will get it under the foot of Cipriani. 3:22 remaining at this point. Both teams trying to give it their all. Pried away from Lechmansky. Back now with Arends. D over to Donnelly. Has to be careful. He almost gave it over to Spinella. Now Lechmansky has it. Slides it left. Spinella the shot. Rebound comes to the middle. Lechmansky couldn't find it. Jones now with some room to work. Cipriani and Cesar Aravena already back. Across for Fielding. Drags it around. Cipriani on a shot. Big kicker rebound off to the perimeter. Volpe holds it. Volpe, room to shoot. Looking back door. They score! Tipped in by Fielding. It's a 6-5 lead for the T-Birds. T-Birds back to the lead, second time today. Volpe continues to generate the offense for his team. Fielding with the goal at 2:39. Now just trying to close it out. Dillon. A little bit of room. Onto the table, Lamacchia. Breaks it past the blue line. Long shot off to the right side. Dillon hunting down. Pressed into the boards by Petrie. Rimmed around the wall. Volpe against O'Sullivan. Hand pass. Going to be taken away by Petrie, so it's reset. Petrie spins. Just trying to find an outlet. Banked off the wall, popped high into the air. Aravena looking for a little bit more magic. Wiggles past Jones and puts it on net, covered up. Just 1:39 left. You got to imagine Paralis is going to come out of the net. Face off important. Volpe going to win it. Instantly out of the zone. Slides to the cross. Fielding brings it in. Down to the goal line for a shot. Rebound. Popped into the air and spiked away by Fredrickson. Over to Lamacchia. Lamacchia, 1-on-2. Still brings it in. Lamacchia, shot, good save. Paralis still in the defensive end. Waiting to come out. His team needs clean control. It's back with Petrie right now. He'll go behind his net, just killing more clock. Petrie almost found the outlet. Held alive by Aravena. Works it down. Aravena shot. Kicker save. Rebound right back to Caesar. Net is empty on the other end. Dylan needs to keep this one alive. It's swept away. Opportunity to fielding. Not going to get it by Spinella. Chance for Longwood. They dump it in again off the near boards. Dylan racing after it. Was stepping in front of the breakout attempt. It's still to the blue line and through. Another reset needed. Down to 30 seconds left. Given back over to Aravena. Lamacchia gets on sides. Aravena gliding out to the left. Looking to send it towards the middle. Petrie was there for it, excuse me. Aravena has shot anyways. Spiked away. 15 seconds remain. Petrie has it on his forehand. Twisted off the glass, and it's out. Spinella has to go for a race. Just 6 seconds left. Home run pass needed, but it is an icing with 5 ticks remaining. Longwood not going to make a change. The T-Birds will use the opportunity. Has to be a face-off here from Spinella. Puck dropped. Played over towards the perimeter. Given Aravena. 1 second left. Rebound. No goal. Waved off by the officials. The buzzer sounded first, and it's a 6-5 win for the T-Birds. First game down here on the North Rinks. It's a gutsy 6-5 win for the T-Birds. We'll be right back here on the LI Sports Network for the start of the second between KPC and Connetquot Sayville.